I'm John Hendricks. It's Monday, June 16th. Today, going home.
More Manitobans will be heading home today and in the coming days and weeks.
Thousands of evacuees get the green light to return home. Why it could all change this week. Also today, a tense standoff.
It was a long, tense scenario for the entire community.
How police negotiated with an armed gunman hunkered down under a city bridge. And keeping tabs. How a lot of small soda can tabs turned into a big gift for a 14-year-old girl. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Mayor Lee is off today. After several successful and stressful weeks away from their communities, Manitoba wildlife evacuees are slowly and finally heading home. Today, people who live in Cross Lake, St. Teresa Point, and Wasagamacq First Nation are allowed to return to their communities. They're the latest communities to welcome back residents after hundreds more returned to their homes over the weekend. CTV's Taylor Brock joins us now live. And Taylor, Manitoba fire officials have updated us on the situation today. What else did they have to say?
That's right, John. So the province says that there's been no new evacuations over the past 24 hours. But despite this being good news, there are still 24 states of emergency and 25 communities remain evacuated. A little precipitation over the weekend helped the firefight. Today, there are 18 fires burning across the province, 7 out of control. Wildfire officials are warning that the fire danger is far from over. They're expecting more fires in the coming days because the areas that got rain have dried out. And lightning is always a danger, too. That could mean evacuee homecomings could be coming to a quick end.
Even though we are seeing communities make the decision to return home, and those decisions are being made in consultation with the Wildfire Service as well as Office of the Fire Commissioner, I want to reiterate that these are very large fires and they are not extinguished. They are not out and won't be for some time.
Kristen Hayward, who you just heard from there, says the Wildfire Service remains cautiously optimistic. Tomorrow, the town of Bissett will lift its evacuation order.
So, Taylor, what about the evacuees who are still out of their homes and need help?
Well, John, the Canadian Red Cross reports that there are more than 21,500 registered evacuees on its list. Today, Manitoba Blue Cross announced it's offering these evacuees free healthcare services. Evacuees can get in-person or virtual counseling sessions or virtual healthcare appointments for issues like infections, rashes, and allergies. And the Manitoba Blue Cross adds that it'll help evacuees find additional supports if needed.
Okay, thank you very much, Taylor. CTV's Taylor Brock reporting for us tonight. A 36-year-old man is facing a list of charges after an hours-long armed standoff in the city's Point Douglas area Saturday. It all started around 5 in the morning when police were dispatched to a report of shots fired at a house. No one was injured, but police say the accused then hunkered down under the Disraeli Bridge and refused to drop his shotgun or surrender. That led to a 10-hour standoff involving the police service's crisis negotiation unit, tactical support, river patrol, drone unit, and others. Pedestrian, vehicle, and boat traffic was also diverted.
Negotiators did provide water to this person over the course of the negotiation period. And at the end of the day, at approximately 3:23 p.m., TST was safely able to take this person into custody.
The suspect is now facing several firearms-related charges, along with charges related to parole violations and being unlawfully at large. Crown prosecutors have stayed child sex charges against the chief of a Manitoba First Nation. And a warning now, some details in this story may be disturbing. The provincial court says charges of sexual assault, sexual interference, and possessing and making child pornography were stayed Friday against Christopher Travers. Travers was the leader of Lake St. Martin First Nation when he was arrested last April. He was accused of forcing an 8-year-old girl into a bathroom at his home, taking photos of her and sexually assaulting her in 2023. He pleaded not guilty and maintained his innocence during his trial, which began in March. The Crown's office says in an email that based on new information presented at trial, it was determined it was no longer appropriate to proceed with the case. Winnipeg's mayor says a smarter, faster way to deliver street and sidewalk repairs will be coming to your neighborhood this summer.
This mighty group behind me, in front of you, is going to get a lot of work done.
They're called Neighborhood Action Teams. 3 teams of 6 people will visit every Winnipeg ward between now and October with a to-do list in hand. The lists are based on the most complaints that the city gets through its 311 service. The first proposed by Mayor Scott Gillingham during the 2022 election, the crews are trained and equipped to fix multiple issues in one visit.
About potholes, obviously, you're talking about curb repairs, you're talking about that safety tree pruning, across the sidewalks, sidewalk heaves, and items such as that.
The crews have already been at work on the street for a few months. The program's cost is $2.7 million. You can visit the city's website to find out when the action teams will be in your neighborhood. Well, there'll be some major lane closures on Kenaston Boulevard a couple of hours from now. Starting at 7, all southbound lanes from Lawson Crescent to Rothwell Road will be closed until 6 tomorrow morning. Crews are repairing the street at the rail crossing near IKEA. The detour will be from Sterling Lion Parkway to Waverly Street. Then northbound lanes will be closed tomorrow night at 7 until 6 Wednesday morning. You should take McGillivray Boulevard to Waverly Street instead. Thousands of runners gathered for the Manitoba Marathon Sunday, raising funds for those living with intellectual disabilities. The 47th annual event began at the University of Manitoba's Fort Garry campus. More than 12,000 runners came out to the course, which ended at Princess Auto Stadium. Janine Zajac of Winnipeg was the first woman to cross the finish line with a time of 2 hours and 58 minutes and 17 seconds. This is her 3rd time running the Manitoba Marathon and her first win.
Just like pure joy. I mean, I haven't won a race, I think, in like 11 years since high school, so this is pretty freaking cool.
Caleb DeJong of Winnipeg had the best overall time, completing the full marathon in just under 3 hours. And more than 1,000 participants raised more than $1.7 million for Cancer Care Manitoba Foundation on Saturday. Challenge for Life is an annual fundraising event that winds up with a big party at Assiniboine Park. Participants committed to a personal fitness goal, such as a 20-kilometer walk or a 200-minute workout. Many who took part know firsthand the important work Cancer Care does.
We've experienced a lot of loss, and we also have survivors as well in our family, and it's vital to support Cancer Care Manitoba Foundation and all they do.
Since 2008, Challenge for Life has raised more than $18 million. And CTV weather specialist Colleen Brady joins us now with your first look at your Skywatch evening forecast.
Well, John, after really a long stretch of quite stable weather in Manitoba, particularly here in the south, it looks like this week is shaping up to be quite unstable, and we're certainly seeing that play out right now on the satellite radar. We have thunderstorms you can see out to the west around Swan River. We also have thunderstorms to the east, and it looks like they've moved right through that area where the wildfires are burning and continuing eastward into northwestern Ontario. So hopefully we have not seen lightning strikes there. And they're back, folks. Air quality alerts for parts of Manitoba and northwestern Ontario. I will get into more detail about those coming up, but let's take a look right now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. In Winnipeg right now, it's cloudy, 24, feels like 29. The humidity high, 63%. Winds out of the northwest at 11 kilometers an hour, and the pressure's dropping. Out in traffic on this Monday afternoon, a live look out at Osborne Village, no one's moving anywhere. Traffic stopped at a light, but traffic is moving well there. But there is one stall to let you know about, Abinoji-Mikana at St. Anne's Road. It's on the eastbound shoulder, but it looks like it could be blocking some traffic.
We even range in color, whether it's a pink to maybe possibly blues.
How to add some color to your yard this summer with hydrangeas. Get Growing is coming up next.
Canadian home sales fell more than 4% in May compared to May of 2024. But between April and May, home sales were up more than 3%. And that's the first month-over-month increase in half a year. Potential buyers have been cautious since the start of 2025 with concerns about the economy. Here's how the trading day ended. The Canadian dollar is up again to 73.65. West Texas Intermediate is down to 70.25. Our fix on Western Canadian Select has it up $4.50 to 61.84. And the TSX is up 64 points to 26,568. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
There's no shortage of color at St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Center, but if you want to get evergreen, there's tons of options too. Carla joins me once again.
There are tons of options, and usually when you're looking at cedars and evergreens and spruce trees, these are kind of like the staple things that you want. They're the foundation plantings, just like your tall evergreens. But what you have to remember is if you're growing a juniper or evergreen or anything like that, they like a little bit of acidic soil, so we want to make sure that they're watered well but in good drainage area. And what you want to be able to do is fertilize them with your high numbers of high nitrogen. You know, 30-10-10 was the old muric acid or the other ones. But some people go, you know what, if my soil is acidic, what can I plant with it? Well, if you're looking for acidic plants, you're looking for your dogwoods, but probably my number one go-to, and we saw it previously on another show where we saw the hydrangea that was in there. The hydrangea, the range is immense. So we look at all the different shapes. We've seen this one before that was on it with the, not the ball-shaped hydrangea, just to say it, there's the conical type style. Now, I put one of these here to show you the difference. We have garden hydrangeas, but a lot of us have gotten hydrangeas as a gift at Easter or at Mother's Day. Yeah. Now, there are some varieties that are out there that are bred, that are not hardy for our areas, but that they can be grown outdoors in a container for the summer and then brought back in. This one's called High River Blue and will repeat blooming. So there is a way to fake it. And the difference between a garden hydrangea and a florist one, with the florist one, you're going to get a fuller, faster fill and more flowers through the summer if grown in a container. Okay. Not that we're on a shrub type. Now, when you're looking at it, you can see through, maybe Kenny can poke through and we can see the different types of hydrangeas that we have. And we even range in color, whether it's a pink to maybe possibly blues. Now, we had that conversation when we're looking at the style that's on it. And if you're looking at some of them, Endless Summer, this is Endless Summer right now, and you're gonna go, that's not a blue. Okay. If it's a blue, it will transition at maturity to the blue, but it has to have that extra oompa of acidic soil. So supplementing it and giving it a little bit more extra will give it that content that's on it. Now, the same thing, hydra. Okay, what would you say? Hydra. Hydrate. Good. So when you're doing your hydrangeas, you have to make sure that they're well moistened. Again, it's a tree and a shrub, so don't bury it. I say bury it. No, back that up. Don't plant it too deep. You want to make sure that when you're planting your hydrangea, that you're planting it at the original root ball. Here, if I show you down through on this side, this is the original base of the tree that should be here. So I'm not going to go here. I'm going to make sure that I match my soil to the ground that I'm planting in to the same level that's in the pot. Fresh soil on the side and the bottom only, and water well. And especially if the temperatures are really, really hot, we want to make sure when we're planting it, dig your reservoir, fill it up with water, go have a glass of lemonade, come back, and the water's going to be gone. And then do your planting, backfill with a good three-way landscape soil mix, and then water again well.
I'm one of those people who received one as a gift, and I don't remember the saying about hindsight, but I'm sitting here going, I wish I had watched this segment when I received it as a gift, but you know what? I'm just going to have to purchase another one.
I can help you with that.
Get Growing, brought to you by St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Center. Get a lush yard and garden, thanks to expert advice from gardening professionals.
Music star will help Winnipeg celebrate the 2025 Grey Cup, when he'll be here and how you can get tickets. Coming up next in Spotlight.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Tom Papa.
Colleen Brady joins us now with our Spotlight. And Colleen, looks like a big name is set to perform at Winnipeg's Grey Cup Festival.
Oh, you better believe it, John. Grammy winner and country star Brad Paisley will be here to help the celebration.
Yeah, since the day I left Milwaukee.
Paisley will appear in Manitoba as part of his Truck Still Works World Tour. He'll perform November 14th at Canada Life Centre as the Grey Cup Festival's official Friday night headliner. Tickets go on sale to the public Friday at bradpaisley.com. A separate ticket is required for the concert and isn't included in the three-day 2025 Grey Cup Festival concert series and Team Social Pass. The Grey Cup game is scheduled for November 16th at Princess Auto Stadium.
Meantime, it looks like Winnipeg and Brandon are going to be getting a visit from a pretty popular band.
That's right. Toronto-based rockers Sloan have 2 concerts set for our province this fall. That's their new single, Live Forever, which will appear on their upcoming album in September. Sloan is scheduled to rock Brandon's Western Manitoba Centennial Auditorium November 24th and Winnipeg's Burton Cummings Theatre the following day.
Well, speaking of country music, another rising country star has announced a Winnipeg date.
That's right. Dasha became famous with a line dance that took over TikTok. That's the 25-year-old's hit song, Austin. It was one of the most streamed country songs of 2024. Dasha performed at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve. She's slated to perform at Winnipeg's Park Theatre on September 16th. Tickets go on sale Friday. Just visit livenation.com.
Looks like a Victorian-era museum in downtown Winnipeg going to be offering some free programming.
That's right. Now, that's going to be coming up soon. It will allow visitors to explore the past, of course. The Dalivert Museum on Carleton Street was built in 1895 and was home to the son of Prime Minister John A. Macdonald and his family. The free programming includes Victorian-era themed games, crafts, and a self-guided tour of the historic house.
It's an awesome opportunity for lots of different people from all sorts of walks of life to come and get to explore a little bit more about Winnipeg's early history and get to see a place that they wouldn't normally get to see.
The program runs from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. during the summer. Your CTV Primetime lineup begins tonight at 7 with American Ninja Warrior, and Yes Chef is at 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV. A live look out onto McPhillip Street. Busy in both directions, but moving well. 24 degrees in Winnipeg right now. A little humid out there, too. I'll have your full forecast coming up.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Well, there are thunderstorms in our midst, and as I mentioned earlier, after a long period of relative stability across the south, instability, I think, will be taking over throughout the week. Certainly it has throughout the day with non-severe thunderstorms, all courtesy of a low to the east over in northwestern Ontario, but with a trailing cold front that's been firing off these thunderstorms. Still seeing them there to the northwest of Dauphin, but as I mentioned earlier, we are still seeing them move through those wildfire areas. We certainly don't need lightning strikes, but we we see those thunderstorms move over the border too into other areas that are dealing with wildfires in northwestern Ontario. But look at this heavy band of rain further south going through the Fort Frances area. Dryden, you're just on the northern periphery of that band of rain. Now, we do have a special air quality statement back in effect for eastern Manitoba, that area in orange, also into other parts of northwestern Ontario as well. Where it's purple in Ontario, that is an outright air quality warning, of course, both issued by Environment Canada related to the condition of the air quality in those areas. So again, it looks like that will continue really for the next several days. Now, as for the night ahead tonight for Winnipeg, we should drop down to around 14 degrees or so, partly cloudy. Now, there is a low chance we could see thunderstorms this evening anyway. Tomorrow, stability takes back over across Manitoba. Sunshine with a high right around 24. And then as we move into the long range, it looks like by Wednesday, then instability takes back over again. Now, it looks like there is the possibility of showers or thunderstorms in the Winnipeg area. Then we get a little later on into the week, Thursday, Friday, still warm, but a little bit more stable. We can't rule out thunderstorms entirely. We get into the weekend again, that there's a bit of a change there. Now, I have your full forecast coming up tonight on CTV News at 6 with a closer look at those details, including the temperatures as we move a little further on into the week. But for now, let's take a look at our weather photos. This first one takes us east of Elm Creek, a beautiful look at the sky. That photo is from Marion, that's southwest of Winnipeg. Now, John, look closely at that cloud. Doesn't that look like the side profile of a face with a very healthy head of hair? That's from Audrey. That's out in the southwest between Douglas and Shiloh. Send us your weather photos to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
I see a nose there too. Thanks, Colleen. On a hot day, a can of pop can provide a lot of refreshment. And depending on what happens next, it can also provide a wheelchair. Monday afternoon, 14-year-old Layla received this new high-tech chair. It's the 69th wheelchair donated by the organization since the program began 27 years ago. As you can imagine, it takes a lot of small tabs to get enough money to buy a new wheelchair. But Tabs for Wheelchairs now has 188 schools, 306 companies and groups, plus hundreds of individuals around the city and province, all saving tabs with them.
There are approximately 360 bags here. There's another 100 that were taken in Steinbach. So we've got about 460, and that mounted to 23 million tabs, approximately. You can never, right? So that's how many, and so that's super. It's the most we've ever done in 27 years.
As more schools and businesses come on board, the organization says it can help more people. In 4 of the years, Colleen, Tabs for Wheelchairs able to provide 2 wheelchairs to deserving children in the same year.
That's incredible.
All right, we'll see you again at 6.